Offering children choices is another way to effectively discipline. When young people are given choices of how they'd like to resolve a problem, they keep their self-respect, they learn to be in control, and to make wise choices. Then, honey, we always have a vegetable at dinner. Do you want peas or green beans?
I don't want either one.
Well, that's not an option, honey. Do you want peas or green beans? You choose. Green beans? Good. Instead of saying, it's cold outside, you have to wear a coat, we can say, it's cold outside, do you want to wear your coat or your sweatshirt? Hey kids, we need to rehearse on Saturday. When do you want to rehearse, from 9 to 12 or from 12 to 3?
9 to 12.
Yeah, 9 to 12 sounds good.
Okay, that's
Cool.
what we'll do. Still another way to discipline is what we call preventive parenting. Rather than wait until a problem arises, whenever we can, it's always better to anticipate a possible conflict and avoid it by giving children high, positive expectations for their behavior. I like the way you boys are playing so nicely together. You always share your toys. Parents are more effective when their methods of discipline match their children's different levels of ability and understanding. We need to modify our methods to meet the needs of our children as they mature. Effective discipline of toddlers lays the foundation for their future behavior. You know, I understand that the way people handle authority figures throughout their lives is in large part determined by what they're taught when they're toddlers. There are two things to remember. First, avoid control battles if at all possible. And second, if a control battle can't be avoided, be sure you're in the right and that you win. There are so many no's during the toddler years. Try to minimize them. Baby-proof your home for just a few years. Create in yourself a high threshold of what bothers you, and keep a sense of humor. Spilled milk is not a big deal. How your children treat you is a big deal. Respect begins very early. We shouldn't ever allow our children to treat us disrespectfully. The way parents show respect to their children in terms of how they treat and speak to them is the exact way they, as parents, will be shown respect by their children. In addition to hitting and being disrespectful, whining is another thing I can't tolerate.
Mom, I don't want to do it.
Dad, I don't want to do it again. And then you say, Mama, I don't want to do it again.
I don't want to do it again, Mom.
First you mimic what they sound like exactly, and then you give them the pleasant tone of voice, and they mimic you in the way that you want them to do it. So many times during my children's toddlerhood, I had to think, they won't be doing this when they're 16, and you know, I was right.
During the elementary school years, we should allow our children to fail sometimes. Don't always step in and rescue them, robbing them of their chance to learn. Young children who make poor decisions usually pay the price of being cold or hungry for a little while, or maybe getting a poor grade. Teenagers, on the other hand, often are making life decisions about alcohol, drugs, and sex. The price of learning is much higher as children get older. Let them learn when they're still young, when the price is affordable.
At about ages 11 to 14, young people begin searching outside the parameters of their own families for additional love and acceptance. In even the most successful families, this is true. It's part of maturing to eventually be a responsible adult. There becomes a need for many children to emotionally break away and find an identity independent of their families.
This age, roughly the years of puberty, is the most critical time for two things. One, young people should be involved in activities they enjoy, which develop their social skills and provide a circle of friends who will help fill the need of being accepted.
Why are there gangs? They're just young people looking for acceptance. Often they'll go to any lengths to find it. The second thing young people need at this age are friends whose values are good.
It is so very important that parents stay tuned in to their teenagers and remain close to them during these years. Peer pressure is very powerful and very real. The degree to which young people succumb to peer pressure largely depends on us as parents. Think about it. As they grow up, do our children see us buy new cars because we need one or because we want to impress others? Do we have to wear the latest fashion even if we can't afford it to impress our friends? Do we talk and wonder aloud about what other people think of us? If our children hear this all their lives, they're going to do the same thing. Try to impress others just to be accepted.
But Dad, everybody's seen it.
Danny, it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. What matters is that what you're doing is the right thing.
As young people learn to listen to the voice in their own head telling them to choose the right, they'll have the courage to be strong and withstand the temptations from peers or adults which would take them off course.
The final and most important method of effective disciplining is to discipline with love. We can't expect loving, kind children if we parents are not loving and kind, any more than we can expect to draw out a gallon of water from a well using a quart pitcher. To a large degree, children's character is formed by what they see and hear, not by what they are told.
To complete our discussion on effective disciplining, I need to say that when parents discipline, we need to be firm so that our children will know we mean what we say. We need to be consistent so they'll be secure in their boundaries. And we need to be loving so that our children will know that even when their actions are unacceptable, we still love them.
It's true that sometimes, no matter how good parents are, children make wrong choices that bring heartache to those that love them. Very often, however, those young people, as they grow older, recognize their mistakes and return to the correct principles they were taught in their youth.
Every day, Gil and I work as parents on being the very best we can, but we make so many mistakes, and we're still working on so many of the things that we've prepared for this presentation. I just want you to feel comfortable in the knowledge that we don't do all of these things right. We're trying our best, and that's all that any of us can do.
Then I shall bow in humble adoration, and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art.
Above all, children need to feel, they need to know in the deepest recesses of their souls that they really matter to their parents. There are helpful books on child guidance and helpful rules to follow, but even if you haven't read the books and don't know all the rules, even if you make every blunder, your children will probably come through it all right if you love them, and they feel that love.
People can change. Families can eliminate bad habits, creating new ones of unconditional love and unselfishness, having positive attitudes and a peaceful atmosphere in their home. Life is a journey. Our preparation and time spent as a family is like getting ready for a performance.
But the grand finale of our life isn't a day, a moment. It's each day and each moment in our life. Our challenge is to make every moment the very best that we can, not to look behind us and regret, but look to the future and enjoy the present as we strive to create happy, successful families.